Welcome to the show, everybody. Joseph Robert, the fantasy football counselor. In this video, we're doing a fantasy football mock draft, and we are doing it by going running back for the first 5 rounds. Yes, we are testing this out. Now, mind you, there's a lot of computers here. I think there's only like 1 or 2 real people. Everyone else is pretty much a computer, but that's good because typically, for the most part, most people draft based on ADP. So this is going to give us a good feel in regards to how many running backs we can get, when we can get them, how it's going to work if we go 5 running backs, full robust RB, and we're going to see which wide receivers are available after those 5 rounds. So I typically don't go 5 robust RBs in the first 5 rounds, but I want to show you that it's completely possible and you can actually do it and have a solid roster in the 5 running backs first 5 rounds. How intense it is. But literally, this is that year you can actually get away with doing that because there's so much depth at wide receiver and there's so much depth at quarterback. And I think you're still going to have a really, really solid team, okay? Again, we're just having some fun here. And I want to show you how many wide receivers are still available after, at the 5th round after I go running back, okay? Before I get into that, guys, make sure you guys leave your fantasy questions below. Smash the thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. And I'm going to walk you through this, guys, and get the 16-round draft solution, the first ever and only video training where I help you guys crush your leagues. Guys, this is the game changer. Forget the draft kits. Forget the cheat sheets. 16 rounds is the game changer. Now, I was at the grocery store today, and I saw these magazines on the newsstand. I'm like, dude, these things are outdated upon print. I mean, these magazines don't even know that Cam Newton's on the Patriots. Guys, forget the magazines, okay? I'm going to walk you through every round in 16 rounds. Get it at thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. Get it right now. The price is amazing, and you guys are going to get a ton of value and dominate your leagues. Get it, link below as well. Let's get to the draft. Here we go. All right, guys, I'm going to be targeting running backs like a beast here. We're going to go running backs, and I'm going to do a couple rounds after the first 5 rounds to show you what players you can end up with here, okay? So there, obviously, Christian McCaffrey, pretty standard here, even though it's computers doing it. Pretty standards to have Christian McCaffrey come off first. Then you're probably going to see Saquon Barkley come off second. Very, very common. And this is pretty standard protocol in all mock drafts. Now, we're drafting from the 7th position here if you guys are listening in the car. And I want to see who falls to me. I would hope Derrick Henry falls. We're going to have to see. Based on ADP, there's probably not. I mean, they may go, let's go overall here, all players. You're going to see Michael Thomas, Kamara, Henry come off, so I may not get him. So I'll be looking at Josh Jacobs if I'm going robust RB coming in at number 7. And here we go. Team 3's got Zeke Elliott, Ryan, the real person here in the draft. Me and whoever Ryan is going at it in reality. Let's see who he goes with. Going to mix things up here. Maybe he's going ADP. Maybe he's not. Any drafts based on ADP, proving my example completely. Michael Thomas was next on the ADP, grabbed by Ryan, who is a real person who, as I said, you might as well be drafting with computers because that's what reality is like. They just draft on ADP. And why the 16 rounds is so effective is because a lot of people get lost after the 6th round. They're like, who do I draft? What do I do? And in 16 rounds, you have all the answers. Get it right now. All right, so I'm going to go here with Josh Jacobs. I'm jumping over the ADP. I'm jumping over Dalvin Cook. I'm jumping over Joe Mixon and Nick Chubb. I'm going Josh Jacobs. Like the ceiling, like the upside, like the opportunity. And there's no committee. There's no Kareem Hunt there breathing down Josh Jacobs' neck. No, you just got a young, talented running back, knock on wood, that's out and hungry for a great year. There you go, Dalvin Cook coming off the board. A guy threatening holdout because he knows very well that he's going to get hurt again because he got hurt 3 years in a row, and sure enough, he's going to get hurt again. So hence why Dalvin Cook coming off, and threatening holdout and coming off a little bit later in drafts because of the holdout. I see him coming off here at 8. Then Devontae Adams, then Joe Mixon, and we're almost done the first round here. Then we're going to recap it. When we come back, we're going to be looking at a running back, most likely going to be looking at a Todd Gurley, who is set for a ton of volume this year. Love the upside, love the opportunity of Todd Gurley. Beyond excited about that, okay? Joe Mixon, Tyreek Hill, and Nick Chubb coming off the board here to round out the first round. So first round, McCaffrey, Barkley, Zeke Elliott, Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry at 6. Got sniped right before I wanted him at 7. But I got Josh Jacobs at 7, Dalvin Cook, Devontae Adams, Joe Mixon, Tyreek Hill, Nick Chubb, and DeAndre Hopkins, the first person in the pick here in second round. Again, Hopkins I'm staying away from. I've told you multiple times. Again, I don't see enough targets there for him with Kyler Murray, with Fitzgerald, Kirk there. Kenyon Drake, not enough targets, okay? Julio Jones coming off the board. Then Aaron Jones, the battle of the Jones back-to-back. Battle of the Jones here coming back off the board. I don't like Aaron Jones as well, coming off a pinnacle year. They drafted A.J. Dillon for a reason. Keep him on your radar for later in your draft. Kenyon Drake coming off the board. Also don't like him as well. Total boomer bust. Do not trust him. And after they go Kenyon Drake, I'm going to steal Todd Gurley here at my second pick here in the draft. And again, there's guys like Miles Sanders, which I absolutely love, but I still think they're going to bring somebody in there and make him part of a major committee. Clyde Edwards there, love him, just not sure he's going to get the running volume, because if you look at the combined attempts with Damian Williams and McCoy last year in KC, they combined for just over 220 yards together. Mind you, Williams only played like 11 games, but the fact of the matter is I don't know if there's going to be enough volumes to make him a viable full workhorse running back. Even though the Chiefs invested a first-round pick on him, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, love the upside, but I'm really questioning how much volume he's going to get. So that's where my concern comes in. Okay, so I went Todd Gurley, then Travis Kelce comes off the board, then Chris Godwin. Now, when you're looking at this again, Travis Kelce, way too early for me. Mind you, he's solid. He's the best tight end you're going to get in the draft. But again, comes the big question of like, there's a lot of mouths to feed there. Clyde Edwards-Helaire catching the ball. They've got Mecole Hardman now. They've got, Tyreek Hill. If he's healthy, Kelce's going to probably see less volume, right? Because I think Tyreek Hill is going to be used more. So a lot of question marks there, a lot of mouths to feed. And when it comes to tight end, I wait later and still manage to get a boom guy that could finish top 3 potentially, and I'm paying nothing for him. I've done it before with George Kittle a couple years back. I could do it again this year, and I talk about that in 16 rounds. Yet again, plugging something that I believe in with my heart of hearts will help you guys crush your leagues, guys. That's why I created it. It is a staple of my brand, and I love it, and I'm proud of my product. This isn't just your cookie cutter rankings. This is going to help you guys win, okay? And again, if you went cookie cutter rankings, you would have drafted Odell in the first round last year. Damian Williams round 2. You would have went Le'Veon Bell round 1. Again, guys, you got to think outside the box, okay? All right, round 2 recap. Hopkins, Jones, and then Aaron Jones after Julio. Kenyon Drake, Austin Eckler. He's not a full workhorse running back either. He's going to have a different quarterback throwing to him. Don't trust Eckler there in the second round. Todd Gurley primed for a good season. No committee there. Travis Kelce, Chris Godwin, Miles Sanders, Kenny Golladay, like him a lot. George Kittle, another tight end. What a waste there. Clyde Edwards-Helaire to end off this second round. Starting off the third round, we're starting it off with Allen Robinson. Well, I'm not, but this guy is in the first pick here. Well, it's actually the computer, but besides the fact it's ADP, and that's where people draft. That's how people draft. Mike Evans, Adam Thielen, Odell Beckham. Again, Odell Beckham saying he's going to have this pinnacle year, this amazing year. Then Juju, then DJ Moore. Then it's back to me in the third round. Going to filter. By the way, I'm using Yahoo as a platform here. Going to go with Leonard Fournette here. Again, we're going 5 running backs here in the first 5 rounds, and we're going to see who's available and how this roster looks after we go 5 running backs and who's available after, round 5. And again, there's a ton of wide receivers. I'm confident I can still get good wide receivers after the fact. Now, DJ Moore coming off here in the third round. I'd rather get DJ Shark a couple rounds later. Don't like DJ Moore. Don't like the offense. Although I kind of see the ceiling, but not really sold. You see Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes coming off back-to-back here in the third round, which is very typical no matter who's in the draft. I've done a ton of mock drafts with reality people, and it's the same across the board. It looks exactly like this. And sometimes it's best to do this via ADP because that's how people draft. So it's better because sometimes when you draft with real people in the mocks, they'll draft kickers, they'll draft, players that shouldn't be drafted early on, and it kind of screws the draft off and the synchronization. So I kind of like it when I'm drafting versus ADP to really show you and give you a feel of what to kind of expect in your draft. Because again, after round 5, I've said it before, round 6, people in your draft, the casual fan will get confused and wonder who they're going to draft, okay? And that's why I'm loading up on full workhorse running backs, because not only is that going to give me depth and possible trade bait and give me full workhorse running backs that are going to produce on a top 10 level, it's also giving me an opportunity to get trade bait and also take those players off the board from other people that will require workhorse running backs. Because after round 5, literally, you're going to have like Phillip Lindsay as your main running back. So round 6, guys, you don't want to be drafting running backs. And so many people say mid to late round running backs to draft. shouldn't even be a topic of discussion because your running back should all be accounted for in the first 4 to 5 rounds, okay? All right, so I still see David Johnson here. Oh, my goodness. Are you kidding me? Cam Akers could have a good year, but it depends on if they make him the full workhorse running back. All right, so continuing on here. This is a no-brainer for me. I'm going to go David Johnson. So there you have it, guys. First 4 rounds, very confident with my team. Josh Jacobs, Todd Gurley, Leonard Fournette, and David Johnson. Now, I'm not recommending that you go, fully on with this robust RB strategy where you go 5 running backs. Even 4 is a little extreme at times. I mean, if you can get yourself a solid wide receiver. So in the 4th round, I could have still got myself. I could have went Parker, Sutton, Calvin Ridley still there. And these are guys I'm going to lose now. Shark, as well in the 4th, 5th round. These are guys I'm going to potentially lose by adding that 5th running back. So I want to make you aware that if you go crazy, like 4 is probably my max for a robust RB. Because if you go fully crazy, you're not even going to get a solid tier 2 wide receiver. But the point I'm trying to make is by extending it out to 5 running backs, I'm still showing you that 3 is easy. Like 3 running backs, that's a no-brainer. But when you start extending it out to 4 or 5, you may lose out on some tier 2 wide receivers. Then you're really kind of gambling at wide receiver. So round 4, 5, I'm really starting to look at anchoring a couple solid wide receivers on my roster. And I think that's the best way to play it. I explain this in detail in 16 rounds. You'll like it. All right, let's recap round 3 and 4 because they're done. Round 3, Robinson, Mike Evans, Adam Thielen, Odell, Juju, DJ Moore, Leonard Fournette for me, Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes, A.J. Brown, who I like this year, Melvin Gordon. See, I mean, this guy went Tyreek Hill, Julio Jones, Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon as your RB1, that's crazy. And again, this is a computer doing it, but the point I'm trying to make here is like a lot of people will go 0 RB and they'll end up with a Melvin Gordon, which I would never do. And Amari Cooper to round out round 3. Round 4, Chris Carson, who has company with Carlos Hyde there, and I don't trust him. Cooper Kupp, Jonathan Taylor, Mark Ingram, Raheem Mostert, David Johnson, James Conner, Devontae Parker, Cortland Sutton, Mark Andrews, Keenan Allen, and Le'Veon Bell to round out round 4. And as you can see, round 5, starting off here, Robert Woods, Calvin Ridley. You can see some of these top wide receivers that I think are going to have good years coming off here in the 5th round. David Montgomery coming off as a 3rd pick in the 5th round, a guy that I like and would have loved to have as my 5th running back. Zach Ertz, Devin Singletary, and I'm up in 2 picks here. And at this point, when it comes to running backs, it's very suspect, okay? You're not going to get a full workhorse running back. The only guy I feel really comfortable with that has the ceiling of a full workhorse running back here is Cam Akers. So I'm going to grab him. I wouldn't waste my time with Jordan Howard, Damian Williams, Matt Breida, Darius Guice, all guys in major committees that are in suspect situations. So there you have it, guys. Josh Jacobs, Todd Gurley, Leonard Fournette, David Johnson, Cam Akers. Now we're going to start looking at wide receivers. Again, I really stretched it to robust RB. Let's see what wide receivers are still there. Now, DJ Shark is still there. I don't think he'll be there on the turn, so I'm going to start looking at guys as Diggs is my wide receiver 1, which is a major risk, but still, you got to think of it like this. Yes, it's a risk. And again, I've really pushed it to 5 running backs. I probably wouldn't do this. So I'll probably still end up getting a Shark or a Ridley or something if I don't go as extreme robust RB. But there's a ton of wide receiver 1 still available. I want to state that for you. Shark available, Metcalf, AJ Green, McLaurin, Debo, Diggs, Landry, Fuller, Cooks, those guys still question mark who's wide receiver 1. I think it's Cooks, Marquise Brown, Edelman. Edelman now is going to have Cam Newton possibly throwing the ball there. There's a ton of wide receiver 1 still available and a ton of sleepers like Deontay Johnson, Justin Jefferson, Mecole Hardman, guys like that you can get later, okay? Now, to round out round 5, I went Cam Akers, T.Y. Hilton, DeAndre Swift, Dak Prescott, Darren Waller, DJ Shark. Starting round 6 here, we see Russell Wilson come off the board here, and then Kyler Murray. And that's when you're going to see Russell Wilson and Kyler come off, is in and around round 5 to 6. So they're technically kind of like the tier 2 guys. So if you guys want to wait to tier 3, you can get them in round 7, and those are like your Josh Allen's, maybe even Matt Ryan. But the thing is, sometimes Allen comes off round 6 as well. But I find that Dak and Kyler come off, and Wilson then comes like Allen and Ryan, but again, it varies. But I still like to have one of these solid guys as soon as I possibly can anchor my team, okay? So now I'm going to go wide receiver here, guys, and again, I can go Diggs. I kind of like Diggs here. But again, 5 running backs, and I still get a wide receiver 1 that could still finish top 10 if Allen gravitates to him, okay? No matter what at wide receiver, you're not guaranteed that workload. We saw this last year with Juju. We saw this last year with Odell. We saw it with Devontae Adams, who got hurt. Guys that were drafted at the end of the 1st round busted, right? So you're rolling the dice in the first couple rounds anyway with wide receiver. At least by going robust RB guys, at least you're getting that guy that's slated as the RB1 that's set to get that workload and that volume and is in the minimal committee. So you're almost guaranteed more with those points, right? If you go robust RB, and there's only a handful. With wide receivers, it's still a major roll of the dice. There's so much volatility, and you can still get a wide receiver one on their respective team, on your team after the 5th round. A ton of volume, okay? So I'm going to just wrap this up here at round 6 and just show you kind of where we're at. Again, looking at the quarterbacks here, Breeze, I don't trust, too volatile. You still get Matt Ryan, Stafford, Rodgers, still solid here around this point. Wide receivers, still a lot of good guys. Jarvis Landry, Marquise Brown, Edelman, Slayton could boom this year. Cooks, tons of wide receivers still available. A ton of sleepers here that I talk about in 16 rounds as well. Running backs, you're pretty much dried up. Now, there is a ton of guys that could break up. Zach Moss of the world, Dillons of the world. Some of these rookies could break out. But you can get these guys later for free, but they're a huge wild card and a dice roll. Like, for example, Keyshawn Vaughn here, him and Rojo, who knows, right? And the Buccaneers were already flirting with Devontae Freeman. So you don't really trust the situation there, right? Marlon Mack is here. I don't trust these guys, okay? James White would never have any of these guys on my team. Mind you, Madison's a good value here, who's going to take the job from Dalvin Cook when Dalvin Cook goes down again if he ever decides to play. So what I'm trying to tell you here, guys, is that even after an extreme RB5 in a row, we still managed to get wide receivers because there's a ton available. Like Deontay Johnson's here. He could technically be the wide receiver 1 there, right? So again, don't push it to 5 running backs. I would probably go running 2 wide receivers here. I talk about the sneaky 7 as well in the first 7 rounds, that whole strategy in 16 rounds draft solution as well. But the key is, you want at least 3 running backs here early, and you can still get a ton of wide receivers. I mean, you could have had Shark, Lockett, and Diggs. You could have had Shark, Hilton, and Diggs, right? A ton of guys still available, okay? Anyway, that wraps it up. That was extreme robust RB for you in this mock draft. I appreciate you guys being here. Leave your fantasy questions below. I'll get to as many as I possibly can. I appreciate you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this extreme scenario. Don't try this at home. And again, wait. Oh, well, wait till this clock goes. It picked Landry for me. It knows I needed a wide receiver. Listen, guys, this is a little extreme. You don't have to go crazy with this, but again, it shows that there's a ton of wide receiver depth. You can wait after the 4th round and get it and load up on those running backs, or else you're going to end up with a Geis or a Singletary or a Kareem Hunt or a Breida, guys that are in committees that aren't going to get that volume, okay? Go robust RB. That's the whole point of this video. Subscribe, leave your questions below, leave a thumbs up, and we'll talk soon. I'm out.